It was late October, and though the town buzzed with Halloween excitement, Emily stood at the door of Miss Sophia's bookshop, her heart heavy with unease. Just days ago, she'd been here with her friends, all sharing hot chocolates and excitedly planning their Halloween movie night. They couldn't wait to watch the scariest horror film they could find. But while they had laughed and teased each other about who would be the first to scream, Emily had felt a growing dread. She hated horror films, the jump scares, the darkness, the lingering fear that kept her awake at night. Now she stood frozen at Miss Sophia's door, torn between the desire to be part of the group and her growing anxiety about the movie. She didn't want to let her friends down, but how could she face something that frightened her so deeply? Inside, Miss Sophia glanced up from her cup of tea, her eyes soft with understanding. "Come in, Emily," she called, her voice a gentle invitation. "You seem to be carrying a little more than just your school books today." Emily hesitated for a moment before stepping inside, the warmth of the shop wrapping around her, as if Miss Sophia's wisdom was already at work, soothing her troubled heart. She wandered over to the counter, where Miss Sophia had already poured a cup of tea, just as if she had been expecting her. "What's troubling you, dear?" Miss Sophia asked kindly. Emily sighed, unsure where to begin. "It's just my friends," she began, fidgeting with the strap of her bag. "They're all so excited about our Halloween movie night, but—" She hesitated, her voice dropping to a whisper. "I don't like horror films. They scare me, but I don't want to be the one to ruin everything for them." Miss Sophia nodded, her gaze thoughtful and full of warmth. "I see. You're caught between wanting to share in the fun and knowing that it doesn't feel right for you." She leaned forward slightly. "Tell me, why do you feel the need to do something that frightens you?" Emily blinked, surprised by the question. "Well, I don't want them to think I'm boring or scared. What if they stop inviting me to things?" Miss Sophia smiled gently. "Ah, but my dear, true friends don't love you for pretending to be someone you're not. They love you for who you truly are. And part of being true to yourself is honoring how you feel." Emily bit her lip. "But they're all so excited. What if they don't understand?" "Your feelings are important," Miss Sophia said, her voice calm and soothing. "We all have an internal guidance, a voice that tells us what feels right and what doesn't. It's there to protect us and guide us, and when we ignore it, we are the ones who suffer." She paused, letting her words sink in. "You don't need to invite fear into your life deliberately, dear. Fear is meant to warn us, not to be something we seek out for entertainment, especially when it doesn't feel good to us." Emily nodded slowly, the tension in her shoulders easing a little. "I guess I just don't want them to think I'm being difficult." Miss Sophia stood and moved towards one of the shelves, her fingers brushing the spines of the books, until she found what she was looking for. She returned with a small, beautifully bound book and handed it to Emily. The title read, "Finding Your Own Light." "This," Miss Sophia explained, "is a little reminder that your light, your inner knowing, is what makes you unique. It's what guides you. And you don't need to dim it to fit in with others. Perhaps you could suggest something else for your movie night. Something that feels fun for all of you, without forcing you into something that doesn't feel right." Emily smiled, a spark of relief in her eyes. "I could ask them if we could watch something else. Or maybe we could do something different for Halloween." Miss Sophia's face lit up with encouragement. "Exactly, dear. There are many ways to spend time together that everyone can enjoy, and if they're truly your friends, they'll appreciate your honesty. They might even be relieved that someone spoke up." Emily clutched the little book to her chest, feeling lighter than she had in days. "Thank you, Miss Sophia," she said softly. "I think I know what to do now." Miss Sophia smiled warmly. "Remember, Emily, you never have to compromise your peace to please others. Your friends will love you for being yourself." With that, Emily left the shop, the weight of her decision no longer pressing on her. In her hands was a simple book, but in her heart was the knowledge that her feelings mattered. And as she walked back towards the busy streets, The chill of the approaching Halloween didn't seem nearly as frightening as it had before.